Okay, everybody. The video was already finished and rendered and was supposed to end right here, but I made a decision to pull it back and re-edit it when I ran across some old footage that I'd forgotten about. It was a video from June 2nd, 2013, about a year and a half after Kleck and that Alex character had their words back and forth, and it was said that Alex drew a picture of JJ with a dead sheep on his head. Well, this video, it features Chris, somebody who was supposedly the manager of the Starbucks at the time. As well, he was Kleck's cameraman and confidant for a few years prior to this interview. Now, I'm not by any means going to show you the entirety of any of it, but we'll show you a portion of the clips and, let you see the title so that you can look it up and discover all that stuff on your own. But because I'm showing you this, I'm also going to include some video clips from 2011. Where this same Chris has fallen, what looks to be hook, line, and sinker, for one of Kleck's "It's the end of the world because the Lord just told me so" prophecies. So it's up to you guys out there to compare the character of Chris. And I don't even know if I would call it his character as much as I would describe it as his characteristic, and that characteristic being gullibility. I don't know. I felt everybody should be able to see it and make up their own minds.
Okay guys, here we go. Chris used to do camera and Chris used to do a lot of the videos with me. The point of Chris's testimony is so we have a witness, or I'm going to use Chris as a witness. That way you don't have to believe me. You can believe his testimony and see if it matches what I told you.
So the event that I'm going to just share my perspective, what I saw, and what I experienced from my vantage point on November 25th of 2011. But I have to back up a little bit before that. So the event that we're talking about is on November 25th, 2011. I'd say, I don't know, by then Johnny and I had been hanging out quite a bit. We were friends and doing a lot of stuff together. Probably a few, I don't know, it could be weeks or it could be even
About a week and a half maybe.
Yeah, it was a while because I remember thinking the event, but I'll get to that. I don't want to jump ahead. And he came in, and that's actually where we met, and a lot of you already know what it is, but for this case, I gotta just try to be safe. So he'd come in and said, one of my coworkers, he pointed him out to me and said, "That guy right there is going to draw a picture of me. I guarantee you. I'll bet you $1 million. Those are Johnny's words. I bet you $1 million he's going to draw a picture of me."
Did I mention what was going to be on the picture?
I don't remember exactly if you mentioned what would be on it, but you did. Clearly what stuck out was like,
Dead sheep on my face.
well, that he's going to draw a picture of me.
That was rather interesting if you ask me, because you always have JJ, when he's retelling this particular story, you'll always have him saying that he told Chris that Alex was going to draw a picture of him and that he was going to put a dead sheep on it.
I said, "Chris, I'll bet you $1 million Alex over there draws a picture of me, and when he does, he puts an image of a dead sheep on the picture he draws of me."
However, here, we can hear JJ leading the witness by telling him about the dead sheep.
Clearly what stuck out was like,
Dead sheep on my face.
well, that he's going to draw a picture of me.
But Chris doesn't recall that part of the conversation. Chris said that the only thing that stuck out was that he was going to draw a picture of him.
Did I mention what was going to be on the picture?
I don't remember exactly if you mentioned what would be on it.
Now that's a pretty big part of this whole deal, isn't it? The dead sheep part?
And when he does, he puts an image of a dead sheep on the picture he draws of me.
So did Kleck even tell Chris this part? I mean, think about it. Just to say that somebody random is going to draw a picture of you, okay, that might seem odd, but it can't really be considered as something that's out of the norm. I mean, however, if you were to add the phrase "with a dead sheep" on it, don't you think that part should have been the first part that most stuck out as being unusual?
I don't remember exactly if you mentioned what would be on it.
Why wouldn't Chris have remembered Kleck saying that part?
So, whether he said it or not, I don't know.
Let's substitute dead sheep for used condom. If Kleck told Chris that Alex was going to draw a picture of him with a used condom on his head, do you really think Chris would have said that he remembered him saying that he was going to draw a picture of him, but for some reason that used condom part escapes me?
So, whether he said it or not, I don't know.
I mean, there's a couple things that you would probably never associate with being on your head. One would be a dead sheep, and the other one would be a used condom. Of course you would remember if somebody used those words, in my humble opinion, of course. But according to Chris, he doesn't remember that part.
I'd sent the this guy, the guy that Johnny said would draw a picture of him on break. Before I sent him on break, though, Johnny had come in. He'd come in with his son, and he was getting his normal order. He put it through, and the individual reached over, sort of from where he was, to stop Johnny and say, "Hey, man, I'm gonna draw." He said something like,
drew a picture.
"Yeah, I drew a picture. I'm gonna draw a picture of you." And I wasn't that close to it, but I was close enough to hear that.
So again, we see that JJ is up to speed on his lines, so that when we see Chris going off script, it's JJ to the rescue, and he feeds Chris his lines.
He said something like,
drew a picture.
"Yeah."
But even after he did, Chris still wasn't sure about what he was saying. He said, "I drew a picture of you," or "I was going to draw a picture of you."
He said something like,
drew a picture.
"Yeah, I drew a picture. I'm gonna draw a picture of you."
Well, which was it, Chris?
I drew a picture. I'm gonna draw a picture of you.
Or should we ask JJ?
He said something like,
drew a picture.
Yeah. And immediately I thought, whoa, that's random and weird, because I thought back to that point when Johnny said, "I bet you $1 million a guy's gonna draw a picture of you."
Okay, I'm going to stop it. I got two things real quick. I mean, you probably noticed that I sped the video up a little bit. But the only reason I did that is because Chris has that slow, I want to jump off a tall bridge if I have to keep listening to him cadence. So that's why I sped it up. And the second question is for you, JJ. Are you the one that made the command decision to add that extremely annoying music that we're forced to hear in the background? Is that supposed to help add some type of context or something? I mean, it's terrible. Alright, let's go on with it.
And the individual actually goes and sits down with Johnny after drawing a picture of Johnny.
Would this be the picture?
That would be the one. Sitting at a table, and they're a good 10 feet away. I can't really overhear what they're saying, but I do know what's running through my head is like, "You drew the picture. Oh my gosh." And I know Johnny's immediately going to be able to see everything.
So Chris was thinking, oh my gosh, he drew the picture, and he knows that Johnny's going to be able to see everything immediately.
"You drew the picture. Oh my gosh." And I know Johnny's immediately going to be able to see everything.
Immediately see everything what? What's he immediately going to see, Chris? From what I've been able to ascertain so far, you were oblivious to Kleck even telling you about the dead sheep.
Did I
Sure.
mention what was going to be on the picture?
I don't remember exactly if you mentioned what would be on it, but you did. Clearly what stuck out was like,
Dead
He's a-
sheep on my face.
well, that he's going to draw a picture of me.
So what exactly were you now privy to that you knew that Johnny was going to see immediately? His head? What? But you know what? I'm not going to subject anybody to any more of this video. I've shown you that it exists and where to find it. So if you're still interested in what most certainly should have been turned into some type of after-school special, by all means hop on over to JJ's channel and load it up and watch it. But it's getting hard for me to stomach any more of it.